And earlier caught up with Shiv Nadar, the founder and chairman of HCL Technology, and began by asking him if the company had experienced any sluggishness in the environment in the last 3 months.
I would not call it sluggishness, but this is more specific to around this time of the year. Year closing invariably is those deals which are already scheduled to close. So when the new year starts, it does take some time to pick up that momentum. I take it that is what we have definitely seen, and I'm sure we should also expect some amount of sluggishness due to the environment. But all in all, if I were to compare last year to this year, totally, there may not be such a sharp slowdown.
Would you say with any degree of confidence, Shiv, that you probably put in the worst part of the worst phase of the environment between October and February, and now, while things may not get off to a rollicking start, from here on you should not go back to that complete freeze-like situation which existed in the last quarter of previous calendar?
Well, then I would not call it a freeze. I get to watch this pretty close as well as view this with a distance. What I had noticed is that there was a lot of numbness. Because it's like, I have explained this in some of the seminars. I have been in an earthquake very, very early in my career, the physical earthquake. What gets you is, it just numbs you up. But in the meanwhile, things go on, which is what went on in the last 6 months. I take it now, people have already picked up the threads. They're not numb anymore. The sizing is already done. Now it's a matter of how we go about solving it. So I expect, so far as the IT industry is concerned, things will start moving now.
I'll ask you some non-operational questions, Shiv. One is on the dividend, which has been cut to 1 rupee. Is that a sign of things to come, that you want to be more conservative with the cash on your books?
To start with, we have always been conservative on cash on our books. If you've seen that cash on our books has always been high, even today, in excess of $400 million, it's fairly conservative. If you take from 2% to 1%, the difference is only $15 million. So it's not something that we could not do. But the reason, one, from last January till now, there is a major difference in the value of the rupee. The rupee has depreciated to 50 rupees 32 paisa as of today, from 48 rupees 70 paisa. That reflects on our books and reflects on our foreign exchange losses. So we have to take cognizance of it. Second thing is, the pound, what it was on 31st of December to 31st of March, there is a substantial depreciation that accounts to a fair degree of our revenue. So we have taken note of these two, and the fact that we would be rolling over the loan by the end of this year to probably a higher cost loan. We don't know, probably a higher cost loan. Maybe same cost, but probably a higher cost loan, net cost. We felt that at least for the next 6 quarters we should show prudence and reduce the dividend from 2 rupees to 1 rupee.
In an earlier conversation, you had told me that as you approach the end of this year, you would also reconsider whether you need to engage another auditor in place of Pricewaterhouse. You're 3 months down from that last conversation. Have you taken a decision? Are you going to replace Pricewaterhouse?
We have not taken a decision. What I had mentioned to you, if you remember, Udayan, that we would be engaging multiple auditors for multiple tasks, which we even do today. What our audit committee has decided, and our audit committee has been meeting independently of the board, the rest of the board directors, that is me, and now Vineet too, all through. So even last year they had four meetings independently. This year also they have had independent meetings, and they are asking independent audit houses to conduct specific area parallel audits to satisfy themselves that what they are signing is what it is. So I take it that what would have been achieved is getting done, but we have to take a decision on the tenure of auditors. That is the most important thing, that the audit committee has to consider it. They have not considered it yet. And once they constitute, they will invite the other auditing firms to see whether they would appoint somebody else for a period of 3 years or 4 years.